Hey Hockey Nuts. Wanted to start a new series of videos that is actually going to take a look at each team as they are mathematically eliminated from either the regular season or the playoffs. As each of the 30 teams are eliminated one by one, I'm going to do a video that basically takes a snapshot at the team as of the date that the team was eliminated, and then looking forward to next year to give the fans of each team an idea what to expect over the summer. So with that in mind, today is March 14th, and we have our first team that has been mathematically eliminated. And that is none other than the Vancouver Canucks. Even though they technically have 2 more points than the Arizona Coyotes, who are about to be eliminated, but they haven't been mathematically eliminated yet. They have, the Arizona Coyotes have 2 more games than Vancouver. Vancouver only has 11 games left. Arizona has 13. So as of right now, as of the end of games on March 14th, Vancouver Canucks are officially the first team eliminated from playoff competition. Now, granted, there's a whole bunch of teams that are realistically eliminated already, but I'm doing this series of videos as the teams are mathematically eliminated, which means even if they win the remainder of their games, in this case, 11 games left, they're still going to come up short. They're not going to make the top 8, no matter what happens above them. So, again, mathematically eliminated. That's what this is. So without further ado, let's get going. And I've got to switch over to my chalkboard. All right. So here we are. We're looking at the chalkboard now. And I've got basically 3 blocks of information that I'm going to feature on each of these team reports. And first and foremost, we have our current NHL roster. We have a list of top prospects that are within the organization as of right now, and then draft picks that are currently owned by that team. So without further ado, let's take a look at how things are. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark all over this thing. First and foremost, I want to take a look at, of course, this is your current NHL roster. Now, there's a lot of players on this roster, and the reason being is they've got a number of players who are currently injured, but we're not even going to consider that. We're just going to assume at this point that most players are going to come back healthy in the fall. So, but because the fact that with the injuries, all these guys are on the current NHL roster, this roster in this case is rather long because Vancouver has a number of players. But the first thing we need to do is take a look at the players who are going to be leaving the team via free agency. So what I'm looking at is these 2 columns right here, and I'm looking for anyone who's going to be a unrestricted free agent in 2018. And what I will be doing with most teams is going ahead and crossing them off, assuming that they're going to leave the team. All right, so as of 2018, there's several players on the Vancouver Canucks who are going to be unrestricted free agent. For most teams, I'm going to be looking at just crossing them off on the roster, assuming that they're going to leave town. Granted, they may sign, but in this case, in Vancouver, the Sedin twins are expected to be unrestricted free agents, and everyone in and around and involved with the Vancouver roster are saying that the Sedins are not going anywhere, but we're just going to mark them just to signify that they are unrestricted free agents. Now, as far as the rest of the team, you've got Nick Dowd, who's an unrestricted free agent. I'm going to assume that he's gone. You have Darren Archibald, who's gone. Jussi Jokinen, who's probably gone. And as of that is all that they have that is gone from the Vancouver Canucks outside the Sedins. There's another one over here on the prospect list. Patrick Weircock is an unrestricted free agent. So he is probably gone. Okay? Now, next thing we need to look at for the Vancouver Canucks is just take a look at the team as it is. Just see the potential players out of the group of prospects that may possibly challenge for a roster spot next year. And of course, your first round picks, Uli Juolevi and Elias Pettersson are definitely candidates to make the team next year. Dylan Blue Juice is signed to an American Hockey League contract, even though he's a second-round pick. But I don't expect him to make the roster anytime soon. Thatcher Demko, though, goaltender, may be an option for them. Jonathan Dahlin out of Sweden may be an option for them. Cole Lind and Gadjevich will also get a look, but they may not be NHL ready. They are both only 19 years old. So, but you will probably see all 6 of those players in training camp next fall. Now, looking down at Vancouver's draft pick situation, basically they are almost completely intact with all of their draft picks. They don't really trade their picks too often. If you look at this, you'll see they're holding all of their draft picks with the exception of this one right here is gone. They're holding all of their current draft picks with the exception of... They're currently holding all of their draft picks with the exception of this one right here that they've traded away. But all the other draft picks they own. They don't own anybody else's picks, which basically means, you know, they are retaining all of their draft picks when they make trades. And just looking at this roster or this whole organizational structure as a snapshot, it looks like Vancouver is going to have to rebuild the slow way, unfortunately for Vancouver fans, because there's a major issue with the team right now, and that is this right here. This is a team that's not very good on the ice, and at the same time, they only have about $480,000 under the cap right now. Now, a big part of the cap issue is these 2 guys right here. So even though Vancouver's ownership and management has said the Sedins can stay in Vancouver as long as they like, I think if they're going to improve this team next year, the Sedins are going to have to take a bit of a pay cut. They're not the first-line centers and wings that they once were when this contract started. They're more third-line guys now. They're not looked at to be the primary scoring option for Vancouver. So I think you can look to see Vancouver take a chunk out of these guys' salary this year. In my personal opinion is $2 to $3 million per player is about the most that they should be paid with the production that they're doing now, and even $3 million may be a little high. So you're going to see significant savings on the salary cap this year. Now, this cap space is based on the 2018 salary cap, which is expected to go up. So you're going to get a few $1 million just with the cap going up, and they should save, I would say, almost $10 million with these 2 players combined when they re-sign them to a much lower paid contract, because obviously these 3 players I don't see coming back. Dowd, Archibald, and Jokinen, I don't see them coming back. They're all veterans. There's really no space for them on the cap, and they're really not too productive as members of the team at this point. But what they do have to do, though, is you've got restricted free agents all through this lineup that all need to be re-signed. These are all restricted free agents right here. And then looking over at the prospect side, yeah, there's one right here, and there's one right here. And there's one right here. And that's it. All right, so Griffin Molino, Cole Castles, Michael Chaput need to be re-signed. They are restricted free agents. I would expect them to be re-signed to two-way contracts or American Hockey League contracts or very low-end NHL contracts. Shouldn't be too much of an issue there. On this side, Derek Pouliot, Troy Stetcher, Nikolai Godolbin, Jake Vertanen, Reed Boucher, Marcus Granlund, and Sven Berchi all need to be re-signed. And Berchi's going to be expensive. Granlund's going to be pretty expensive. And Derek Pouliot has been playing very well of late, and he will, too, be pretty expensive. So So yeah, Vancouver's got some work to do, and I think with right now the team is struggling on the ice just simply because of the amount of injuries that they have. They've got several players who are out, but once everybody gets healthy over the summer, and you get another season under the belt for young guys like Bo Horvat, Brock Besser, Tyler Mott, Jake Vertanen, Nikolai Godolbin, Derek Pouliot, and so on, you should be able to see probably a slight improvement on this team next year, but I think this team is in for a long haul rebuild. So hopefully they'll get a real strong draft pick in round 1 with the lottery. This is something that Vancouver desperately needs, is a very high-end draft pick. And the way they've been playing lately, they may end up having the best odds of having the number 1 overall pick. They may finish dead last in the league. Right now, they're in the bottom 3, so it's anybody's guess between now and the end of the season. Still almost a month left to go in the season. But anyway, all right, so that is it for the quick look at the Vancouver Canucks as they look on the day that they got officially mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. And we'll take another look at every team as well once the draft has happened and we actually have names to put to the draft picks here. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end this one. And go ahead and click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you want to see more videos of this style. And as always, thank you for watching. And go ahead and comment in the comments below. Let me know what you think Vancouver should do over the summer. What areas do you think they need to address? And we will go ahead and discuss that from there and probably do that in the next one. So until then, we'll catch you later.